The Science of Reversing Hair Loss, an evidence-based guide. Picture this: your hairline receding while your beard thrives. Sounds paradoxical, right? But this biological puzzle reveals everything about what's actually happening beneath your scalp, and more importantly, how to fix it. I'm breaking down the peer-reviewed science of hair regrowth today. No gimmicks, no miracle cures, just clinical research from major medical journals. And yes, I'll reveal the nutritional strategy that could dramatically accelerate your results. If you're watching your hair thin, this might be the most important 15 minutes you spend this week. Let's get into it. The hair loss mystery. Androgenetic alopecia, commonly known as pattern baldness, is the most widespread form of hair loss worldwide. In men, recession typically starts at the crown and temples. Women experience diffuse thinning across the top of the scalp. But here's what fascinates researchers. How can one circulating hormone have such contrary effects on a single tissue depending on its body site? You can sprout thick facial hair while simultaneously losing scalp hair. This biological paradox is the key to understanding the entire mechanism. Let me explain the anatomy first. Each hair on your head emerges from a follicle. Think of it as a microscopic growth chamber embedded in your scalp. This follicle is not just empty space, it's an incredibly active biological environment, packed with mitochondria and requiring tremendous amounts of oxygen. Your follicles cycle through 3 distinct phases: anagen, active growth lasting 2 to 7 years, catagen, a brief transitional phase, and telogen, a resting period of about 3 months. In healthy scalps, approximately 85 to 90% of hairs are in the growth phase at any given time. When androgenetic alopecia develops, something disrupts this cycle. The anagen phase shortens dramatically, follicles shrink progressively with each cycle, and the ratio of growing to resting hair plummets. Eventually, those thick terminal hairs transform into barely visible vellus hairs, fine, colorless strands that can't provide coverage. The hormonal cascade. Androgenetic alopecia, commonly known as pattern baldness, is the most widespread form of hair loss worldwide. In men, recession typically starts at the crown and temples. Women experience diffuse thinning across the top of the scalp. But here's what fascinates researchers. How can one circulating hormone have such contrary effects on a single tissue depending on its body site? You can sprout thick facial hair while simultaneously losing scalp hair. This biological paradox is the key to understanding the entire mechanism. Let me explain the anatomy first. Each hair on your head emerges from a follicle. Think of it as a microscopic growth chamber embedded in your scalp. This follicle is not just empty space, it's an incredibly active biological environment, packed with mitochondria and requiring tremendous amounts of oxygen. Your follicles cycle through 3 distinct phases: anagen, active growth lasting 2 to 7 years, catagen, a brief transitional phase, and telogen, a resting period of about 3 months. In healthy scalps, approximately 85 to 90% of hairs are in the growth phase at any given time. When androgenetic alopecia develops, something disrupts this cycle. The anagen phase shortens dramatically, follicles shrink progressively with each cycle, and the ratio of growing to resting hair plummets. Eventually, those thick terminal hairs transform into barely visible vellus hairs, fine, colorless strands that can't provide coverage. The genetics versus environment question. Is it just genetics, you might ask? Partially, yes. The genetic component involves genes responsible for androgen production, their conversion to DHT, and the sensitivity of androgen receptors. Research demonstrates genetic variability in the androgen receptor gene is the cardinal prerequisite for early-onset androgenetic alopecia, with the X chromosomal location emphasizing the maternal line's importance in inheritance. But genetics only load the gun. Environmental factors pull the trigger. multiple clinical studies reveal associations with androgenetic alopecia and metabolic syndrome, particularly insulin resistance. This connection is crucial because it represents a modifiable risk factor. Case control studies in men aged 19 to 50 years show strikingly increased risk of hyperinsulinemia and insulin resistance-associated disorders like obesity, hypertension, and dyslipidemia in those with early-onset alopecia. Why does this matter? Insulin resistance increases the enzyme that converts testosterone to DHT, while simultaneously compromising liver function, reducing the body's ability to regulate testosterone properly. The result? More free testosterone gets converted to DHT, accelerating hair loss. Even more compelling, a 2024 case report documented hair growth improvement in a patient with androgenetic alopecia after treating insulin resistance with tirzepatide, a medication that improves metabolic function. The follicle microenvironment strategy. Here's where conventional wisdom falls dramatically short. You can't just lower DHT or fix insulin resistance and expect complete reversal. You need to restore the entire follicle microenvironment. Hair transplants work by moving entire follicles, not individual hairs, because the follicle represents the complete growth ecosystem. It's the biological soil that nourishes the root. Excessive DHT initiates a cascade. Follicles become hypoxic, oxygen-deprived, inflammation spreads, repair mechanisms fail, and scar tissue develops. You must address all these layers simultaneously. Mechanical stimulation, microneedling. Microneedling stimulates stem cells and induces activation of growth factors through controlled microinjury. Think of this as aerating compacted soil to allow water, oxygen, and nutrients to penetrate. The clinical evidence is remarkable. A randomized, evaluator-blinded study with 100 androgenetic alopecia patients showed weekly microneedling combined with twice-daily 5% minoxidil was statistically superior to minoxidil alone for all three primary efficacy measures: hair count, patient assessment, and investigator assessment. Even more impressive, 12 men previously unsatisfied with finasteride and minoxidil showed positive responses in the microneedling group, while 8 similarly unsatisfied men in the minoxidil-only group showed no improvement. Meta-analysis of clinical trials demonstrate that microneedling monotherapy significantly increased total hair count more than topical minoxidil 5%, and combining microneedling with minoxidil increased hair count even further compared to either treatment alone. Studies show microneedling stimulates vascular endothelial growth factor and platelet-derived growth factor, enhances minoxidil penetration, and promotes collagen production, all contributing to increased hair thickness and follicle regeneration. Treatment parameters matter. Research describes microneedle depths ranging from 0.25 mm to 2.50 mm, with treatment intervals from twice weekly to every 4 weeks. Professional guidance ensures optimal depth and frequency for your specific situation. Cellular energy, red light therapy. Even with improved circulation, there's another bottleneck: damaged mitochondria within follicles. These cellular powerhouses have essentially shut down in affected areas. Double-blind, randomized controlled trials demonstrated that low-level laser therapy at 655 nanometers significantly improved hair counts in both males and females with androgenetic alopecia. Studies show 650 mm red light promoted proliferation of human hair follicles in cultured tissue models, prolonged the anagen phase, and stimulated anagen re-entry of telogen follicles. The mechanism involves acting on mitochondria to increase reactive oxygen species levels and ATP production, inducing transcription factors that activate genes producing proteins useful to multiplying cells. A 2014 study found men and women treated with red light therapy experienced significant increases in hair density compared to placebo, while a 2017 study concluded that low-level laser therapy effectively promotes hair growth and can be safely combined with other treatments. The technology has gained legitimacy. LLLT devices have been approved by the FDA to treat male and female pattern hair loss via home medical devices. Wavelengths between 630 to 690 nanometers and 820 to 880 nanometers show therapeutic effects, with some research suggesting deeper penetration of longer wavelength light facilitates hair follicle cell proliferation. Treatment typically requires sessions every other day for 16 weeks, with most patients beginning to notice improvements after 8 to 12 weeks of consistent use. Natural circulation enhancers. Minoxidil, the other FDA-approved medication, doesn't work by blocking DHT. It creates vasodilation, increasing circulation to deliver oxygen to follicles. Can we achieve similar effects naturally? Research says yes, particularly with rosemary oil. A randomized comparative trial assigned 100 androgenetic alopecia patients to either rosemary oil or minoxidil 2% for 6 months. The results were striking. Both groups experienced significant hair count increases at the 6-month endpoint, with no significant difference between groups. Even better, scalp itching occurred more frequently in the minoxidil group, suggesting rosemary oil offers similar efficacy with fewer side effects. Rosemary oil improves hair regrowth in androgenetic alopecia by promoting circulation in the scalp and inhibiting DHT, with antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties attributed to carnosol, carnosic acid, and uracilic acid. Studies demonstrate rosemary oil's ability to stimulate hair follicles, improve scalp circulation, and extend the anagen growth phase. Critical nutrients. Certain micronutrients function as growth accelerators, and the research here is particularly compelling. Zinc and vitamin D. Systematic reviews conclude that vitamin B, vitamin D, iron, and zinc play critical roles in hair growth and maintenance, with deficiencies associated with increased risk of androgenetic alopecia. A study of 48 androgenetic alopecia patients treated with 5% topical minoxidil plus nutrient corrections found that starting zinc plasma levels above 10 micromoles per liter predicted subsequent treatment success, correlating with increased hair density and diameter. The predictive value of zinc levels was assessed at 72.3%. Research comparing women with female androgenetic alopecia to controls found both hair and serum zinc levels significantly lower in the alopecia group, 103.4 versus 143.5 ppm for hair, and 66.6 versus 128.4 micrograms per deciliter for serum. A systematic review and meta-analysis encompassing 3,404 participants showed serum vitamin D levels in alopecia patients were significantly lower than in controls. Clinical evidence suggests that supplementing the diet with vitamin D can improve symptoms of androgenetic alopecia and telogen effluvium. Based on clinical observations, practitioners often recommend 10,000 IUs of vitamin D3 daily and 30 to 40 milligrams of zinc for patients with documented deficiencies. Natural DHT inhibitors. Several natural compounds function as 5-alpha reductase inhibitors: saw palmetto, pumpkin seed oil, EGCG from green tea, peppermint oil, and zinc. While these compounds show promise, additional research is needed to fully establish the concrete efficacy of natural remedies in treating androgenetic alopecia. The optimal nutrition strategy. Let me give you a meal that delivers maximum hair-supporting nutrients based on the research. Liver. Iron deficiency is commonly seen in females with androgenetic alopecia, and supplementation is recommended when levels are low. Liver provides highly bioavailable heme iron that's superior to plant-based sources.
It's also naturally rich in zinc, copper, selenium, and other trace minerals essential for follicle function. Onions. Onions contain quercetin, a powerful flavonoid. Quercetin functions as an anti-inflammatory compound, helping reduce the scalp inflammation that contributes to follicle damage. Fermented vegetables. Sauerkraut and other fermented vegetables provide extraordinary nutrient density. They're exceptionally high in vitamin C. Vitamin C intake is important for iron-deficient patients as it enhances iron absorption. Fermentation also produces numerous bioactive compounds with anti-inflammatory properties. Pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seed oil acts as a 5-alpha reductase inhibitor to help lower DHT. The seeds also provide magnesium and additional trace minerals critical for cellular function. This combination addresses multiple pathways simultaneously: iron and zinc for follicle growth, vitamin C for iron absorption and collagen synthesis, anti-inflammatory compounds to reduce scalp inflammation, and natural DHT inhibitors to reduce hormonal stress on follicles. The foundation: insulin resistance. We cannot overlook the elephant in the room. Multiple studies establish associations between androgenetic alopecia and insulin resistance, with early-onset baldness potentially serving as a clinical marker for metabolic dysfunction. Research on 245 men aged 63 years found that 58% reported extensive hair loss, with hypertension, diabetes, and hyperinsulinemia significantly more common among those with androgenetic alopecia. A study of women with androgenetic alopecia demonstrated that the association between hair loss and insulin resistance was independent of hyperandrogenemia, meaning insulin problems contribute to hair loss through mechanisms beyond just hormone imbalances. This is why addressing metabolic health isn't optional, it's foundational. You can implement microneedling, red light therapy, topical treatments, and optimize nutrition, but if underlying insulin resistance persists, you're fighting an uphill battle. Reversing insulin resistance typically requires reducing refined carbohydrates and added sugars, increasing protein and healthy fats, implementing regular physical activity, potentially time-restricted eating or intermittent fasting, managing stress, and prioritizing sleep. These interventions directly target the root metabolic dysfunction driving excessive DHT production. Conclusion. Let's bring this together. Hair loss isn't just about DHT or genetics. It's a complex interplay of hormones, metabolism, inflammation, circulation, and cellular energy. The evidence-based approach combines foundation, address metabolic resistance through metabolic interventions; mechanical, microneedling to break down scar tissue, stimulate stem cells, and enhance treatment absorption; cellular, red light therapy to restore mitochondrial function and energy production; topical, rosemary oil to improve circulation and provide natural DHT inhibition; nutritional, zinc, vitamin D, iron, vitamin C, and anti-inflammatory compounds to support follicle function. This isn't a quick fix. Clinical trials demonstrate significant results typically emerge after 3 to 6 months of consistent intervention. Hair grows approximately ½ an inch monthly, and follicles rest 100 days before new growth begins. But here's the encouraging reality. Unlike genetic predisposition, which you can't change, you can modify your metabolic health, nutrient status, scalp environment, and treatment regimen. The research shows these interventions work. Your hair isn't gone, it's dormant, and now you have the scientific roadmap to reactivate it. If this video changed how you think about hair loss, subscribe for more evidence-based health content. Drop a comment telling me which intervention you're starting with. I'll see you in the next one.